Hi, everyone. Thank you so much for joining our first Areaa and ADP webinar. My name is Jessie, and I'm local to the San Diego area. So hopefully everyone that's joining from Southern California is staying warm and dry today. I know it is raining like crazy out there, but we can go ahead and get started. Super excited to introduce this new benefit to you guys. So first, I'll go through an introduction, a little bit about me, and I'll introduce ADP services and kind of go into what the process looks like bringing on a new client, working with the Areaa members, member benefits for you guys, and then we can take any questions at the end. If you have questions while I'm going through, please feel free to stop me. You can raise the little virtual hand and I should be able to see it. But I cannot see the chat right now. So I can either pull up the chat at the end and answer any questions, or I'm happy to do it as we go through as well. So here is your ADP team. Of course, there's me on the left. My name's Jessie Cordova, and I work at ADP in San Diego in our small business services division. In the middle there is my manager, Alyssa, our sales executive, and then on the right is Loren, and she is our VP of diverse markets. Little bit about me. I love being outside. I love going for walks. So the rain is not necessarily my friend right now, but Arizona is my home state. There's a picture of me with my little brother. Family is super important to me. And I've been in California for about 4 years now, and 2 of those have been with ADP. So gonna keep that streak going. And I love dogs. There's a picture of 2 of my little dogs back home in Arizona. And really, I want to dive into why I'm here today, why ADP is really excited for the partnership with Areaa. So why diverse markets? So ADP at its core is a data company. That's our middle name. Our full name is Automatic Data Processing. And ADP pays 1 in 5 Americans. So we have a lot of it. We have a lot of data. And what the data is showing us is that minority-owned businesses are growing much faster than non-minority-owned businesses. In the little green percentages under the bars, you can see Black-owned businesses are growing at a rate of 12%, Hispanic by 13%, and Asian-owned by 10%, while just non-minority-owned businesses at 1%. So ADP has seen really a high statistical growth with diverse channels. And these business owners in these markets that we're talking to and that we want to help are also statistically the business owners that have a little bit less access to capital, to funding, and to education and resources that are going to really help them thrive. So that's why ADP's created this program, and that's why I'm so excited to partner with you guys and all of the Areaa members. I'm already lucky enough to partner with the San Diego Areaa members, so really excited to get to meet everyone today and hopefully after this webinar as well. But really ADP, the goal is just to provide access to all of these tools for organizations that are supporting these businesses. And I'm really excited for the partnership. So I'll go into ADP, what ADP is at the core. A lot of people may have heard of ADP. You may have gotten paid by ADP as a W-2 employee before, since we do pay 1 in 5 Americans. But really, at the end of the day, ADP is a simple payroll and tax filing tool. So ADP's system, it's called Run Payroll. It's really a payroll and tax filing system, and you can run payroll, pay your employees, pay yourself, and then ADP will take the taxes, pay them to the IRS, pay them to, in California's case, the EDD, or whatever state department that you're in. Great, because it is a nationwide company. And then plus you also get access to tax and compliance updates to stay ahead of state and federal law. because especially if you're in California, but everywhere else as well, we know that laws and regulations are changing every day. So as business owners, we know you guys have a lot on your plate already. Really, ADP's goal as a whole with all of our clients is just to make your life easier, and hopefully be your preferred vendor of choice in order to do so. So really, with ADP, you can, of course, run payroll. Our system is very flexible. If you've never seen it, it's called Run, like I mentioned. And you can use it as a website anywhere you have Wi-Fi, but you can also use it on the Run mobile app, which, fun fact, is actually the #2 rated business app in the App Store. And then, of course, the system will calculate, deduct, and pay taxes automatically. And then I love too that you can get answers 24/7. So we do have a 24/7 client service line that's available via phone, but we also have right in the Run website a little chat box, which is actually not a robot. It's a real person responding to you in real time. And then, of course, pay your people, which is our bread and butter. So at ADP, we like to use the term that we're there for our clients from hire to retire. And in some cases, unfortunately, fire if we have to go there. But we really want to be there to support businesses of all size in all stages of their business life. So it's a common notion that ADP is just a payroll company, which, yes, that's our bread and butter. But we do a lot more than just payroll. So I specifically work in small business services division, and there we can assist with anything from hiring an employee, trying to find that employee, retaining that employee. Of course, paying them, like I said, is our bread and butter, but we also have services that will help track time of your employees if they're hourly, HR and compliance updates, like I mentioned, and then benefits too. So of course, you can go through a traditional broker for health insurance benefits, things like that. ADP offers those as well that integrate with payroll. Things like time tracking, performance and compensation. And then, of course, since data is our middle name, I would be remiss that data and analytics are available as well. And then something a lot of people don't know is ADP is actually the largest tax credits, finder in the nation right now. So since the employee retention tax credit has been in effect for the past few years, ADP has found over $1 billion for our clients. And then, of course, retirement, which I will get into as well. So my role at ADP, like I mentioned, I'm in ADP's small business services division. So I work with businesses that it's just the owner paying themselves on payroll, maybe just the owner and family, or all the way up to businesses that have 49 employees. Of course, ADP can accommodate businesses with more than 50 employees. That's just a different division, and I have internal partners for that. But my job really is to bring on new clients for payroll, tax, HR, and benefit solutions. And then really how we go about doing that is just from building relationships with partners. So I partner closely with the accounting community, with the bank community, and obviously our clients, and really just making them aware of our services, making them aware of the options, and really just serving as a trusted advisor to my network, my internal and external partners, such as you guys. So this slide is very busy, and I'm going to send everything out to everyone that was able to join. But really what this slide serves as is ADP's HR continuum. So it's honestly a common misconception that a lot of small businesses don't need HR, and a lot of times they're right. They don't need a full-time internal HR person. There's probably not enough HR issues or demand for that. However, a lot of times in general, as people, we don't know what we don't know. And a lot of times as business owners, we don't know what we don't know. So these are just some of the examples of HR concerns and support services that we have at every stage of business. So whether it's supporting with onboarding a new employee, creating an employee handbook, really basic things like that, all the way through on the far right, creating learning and development courses, taking employees and employers through that, as well as just compliance management, because as businesses grow, as you guys grow, there's a lot more compliance that you have to deal with. Like just now in California, there's a lot of different compliance and regulations than when you have 4 employees to when you have 5. And then when you have 5 to when you have 15. So ADP is really a scalable solution that can be there for the business at all aspects of its life. And we can, as I mentioned, support business owners that's just them paying themselves on payroll. Maybe they're taxed as an S Corp and they need to show what the IRS calls a reasonable salary. ADP can support that and pay the taxes for them. Or maybe it's a 40 employee company that just expanded to its 5th state. So that's really the special thing about it, is it's very scalable technology. Now I want to go into just a little bit more about the services that are beyond payroll. So ADP workers' compensation. This is actually, I would say, our most used feature other than payroll by our clients. And that's because every business that has 1 employee needs it. So ADP, we actually have our sister company that's called ADP Insurance Agency, ADPIA. And what we do is we act as the broker on workers' comp insurance policies. So we work with a wide array of A-rated carriers, which is really great because ADP's size in the buying market, we can get really good rates for these small businesses. And we actually have, like I mentioned, a separate division. So ADPIA also includes health insurance benefits. And then as far as the workers' compensation goes, how it's different with ADP, because we are a payroll provider, is we use actual payroll data instead of estimated payroll data. So it's a pay-as-you-go system. Whereas when you go through a traditional broker, typically you're using estimated wages. You'll typically have to pay a percentage of an upfront premium. And then at the end of the year, there's the year-end audit where you'll either owe or get back. But with ADP, since we have the payroll data, we don't eliminate the year-end audit, but the year-end audit is always 0. So it's typically a lot more cash flow friendly for businesses. Of course, we do have some clients that want to pay the upfront premium, and we can absolutely do that as well. But we do find that the cash flow is a lot better when you're paying it as you go instead of either at the beginning of the policy and then at the end. And then ADP's retirement services. So ADP actually opened our retirement services division way back when because our clients were asking for it. So there's a few main reasons that we always say business owners will put a retirement plan in place. And I'd love to know at the end of this if any of them resonate with you guys. But the main reason, of course, the obvious one, is to save for retirement. The second one is to reduce taxes. And then the third one is to recruit and retain employees. And then we actually have 3 pretty different options at ADP. The most basic and most well-known is ADP's 401k. And then we also offer our simple IRA and our SEP IRA. So of course, everybody wants to retire, right? So we think, of course, you might talk to someone that wants to work for the rest of their life, and that's great. But retirement is a big goal for a lot of business owners and a lot of clients of ours. And that's typically why ADP made this division. So this next slide, again, a lot of information, but I did just want to touch on some of the differences in the plans that we offer. So a 401k plan is typically the plan that most people have heard of. And that plan is a little more flexible than our simple IRA plan. So the simple IRA plan is like a skinny down version of a 401k. And the reason it's a little less flexible is because, as you can see here in the yellow, it does require a company match. And then the contribution limit is a little less. So let's say in your mind, you're thinking, I want to contribute as much money as I can to my retirement plan, then a 401k is probably a better fit because of that higher contribution limit. Let's say you want to put maybe a few thousand or even a few hundred away, a simple IRA might be a better fit. And then of course, I can always go over pricing as well for those if necessary. And then I want to go over some legislation relating to retirement plans. And really, this is just some of the legislative updates that when you partner with ADP that you can receive. That's also our job, is to, of course, we get a lot of legislation before it gets trickled down. So we want to relay that to our clients. And the reason there's never been a better time to start a retirement plan is because of the Secure Act. So a few years ago, Congress passed the Secure Act, and these statistics are not meant to scare you. They're just some legislative updates, of course, that we want to provide. But the reason Congress enacted this is because some of these statistics are pretty crazy, that 55% of Americans are behind on saving for retirement, and then 25% of Americans don't have anything saved for retirement yet. And we've heard rumors about Social Security running out in the next few years. So that's the reason Congress wanted to pass this national law. And this is some of the ways that they're making it easier to offer a retirement plan. So they're actually, when it was originally passed a few years ago, they said, hey, any administrative costs you pay for a plan, we'll give you 50% of that back as a tax credit. And then with the new year, so just a few months ago, they boosted that up to 100% back for the first 3 years of a plan. And then they also increased the offering from $0 to $1,000 for each participant in the plan if the company is offering a match. So that's a great way to be able to offer that to any employees and offer that match as a benefit, which is really a great recruitment and retention strategy, but then also be able to offset the cost a little bit with the match. And then one more piece of information for my California members out there. I'm sure if you do have 5 or more employees, you may have heard of the CalSavers program. And even if you don't have 5 or more employees, it might be necessary to hear about it because there is talks of the program being extended to any business with 1 or more employee. But really, the reasons behind this program is the same as behind the Secure Act, right? That they realize there might be a retirement issue in America. People aren't saving for retirement. So they're really just trying to make it more accessible and accessible through the business paycheck. And the reason being is it's a lot easier, to save through your paycheck before you see it come into your account. And then you have to go put it into the retirement account yourself. It's a lot easier to just do it through the paycheck. So that is why they are promoting company sponsors. But what the program says is that any business with 50 or more employees had to offer a plan by June 30th, 2021. And then any business with 5 or more employees had to offer a retirement plan by June 30th of last year. And then the talk is that there will be, it will be extended to 1 or more employee by the end of 2025. And then if you don't offer a company sponsored retirement plan through ADP, then you have to enroll the business in the CalSavers program, which is the state ran program. And then there's a lot of money movement when it comes to that and things like that. So that's why we like to steer people towards the company sponsored plan. But CalSavers is a great program as well. So I really want to go into what my process is with my clients and what I hope the process is to be with the Areaa members moving forward. So we really want to strive for a consultative approach based on support and education. So how we do that first would be to schedule a meeting. So of course, I'm available via WebEx or via Zoom, but if you're in the Southern California, San Diego area, I'd love to meet you in person over coffee, like I get to work with the San Diego Areaa team. And really what we'll do is have a discussion and understand the current state of the business. What this really is an HR, payroll, and administrative review. And really, I want this to be a safe space for you to discuss your current business state of affairs and maybe where you'd like to be, but you aren't yet, or maybe what's working really well that you would just like more support with. This might be even if you have a current payroll provider, but anything that I talked about today resonated with you, or maybe you're not receiving the right support that you need. And if you're just not completely satisfied, or this can be if you've never ran payroll before and maybe you're interested in paying yourself a payroll, or maybe your CPA or tax advisor says that you need to show a reasonable salary. That's also another reason. But if you guys or any of our clients haven't ran a payroll before, we're able to provide support and education on W-2 employees versus 1099s, payroll 101 employee and employer taxes, and then local legislation as well that's going to affect you and your employees and the business at the end of the day. So all of our packages too are completely customizable based on your needs. So like I mentioned before, it's really not a one size fits all solution. We offer just bare bones payroll and tax filing all the way up to really increased HR support. So we really just want to meet you guys and Areaa's members where you're at, and we can kind of go from there. So expectations for setup after we review everything at our meeting. If you have not ran payroll before, we can help you get tax IDs to do so, like the EDD, and we can go through paperwork and everything like that. And then exclusive benefit and discount. So all Areaa members, you may have seen this announcement, but all Areaa members receive a 10% discount on payroll and HR services. And then the first 10 members to register will receive an additional 20% off, so 30% off total. And then typically the price for an owner to pay themselves, let's say monthly, would be about $78 a month. So it's a significant discount off of that too. And then I want to open the floor to any questions, anything that I might have missed, and we can go from there. Let me see if the chat.
Perfect. Yes, it looks like we got a little question in the chat from Amika Coleman asking if Jessie Cordova would be the contact person. So yes, Jessie Cordova is our contact person for all Areaa members. So definitely fill out the contact sheet either within that ADP link that has been pasted in the chat. Her contact information has also been pasted in the webinar chat if you need.
Yep, and then I will be sure to send this out, or I can send it to Ilsa and you can send it out in case you want to reference it down the road too. But super excited to work with you guys. Let me know if there is any other questions before we close out.
And if you are unable to type in the chat, you can also feel free to raise your hand and we can allow you to speak your question if you need. Otherwise, if you did join us a little bit later for the presentation, we will be sending out the webinar recording so you don't miss out on any of the great information that Jessie provided in this presentation. If you do also have something more relative to your location that you feel that might deserve a more in-depth conversation with Jessie, definitely encourage you to reach out via email as well.
Yes, definitely. And my phone number here is my direct line too. So call, text, email, all the things. Cool. Well, thank you guys so much. I'll make sure to get this presentation out to anyone. And then please feel free to reach out to me via my contact info here. Thank you guys.